We live as if everything needed to happen now. Success, purpose, relationships, career, money, everything. But the uncomfortable truth is that everything you have, all the results you have right now, is what you truly deserve. You deserve exactly what you have today. Why? Because you haven't yet become the person that can hold and that is ready to receive that which you wish. Now, there may be things in your story and karmatic things you carry, but that financial freedom, that sense of impact, that wonderful aligned relationship, that network of expansive friendships, people, peers, mentors that can open the path for you, for new experiences and this beautiful lifestyle that you want, that can only happen with a key that perhaps we have totally forgot about. And that's what this video is all about. So stay in this video and I'll show you how to let go of the rush, start aligning with life cycles, and that way creating a life that truly matters today. Welcome to this channel. My name is Mateo and I help spearheads and pioneers that are evolving humanity forward to create their own authentic lives filled with beauty and adventure. I work through online mentorships, retreats, and individual and group processes. So if you see yourself as a spearhead, as a pioneer in the evolution of humanity, I invite you to follow me and click on the bell so you can get all notifications on future videos. All right, let's get to it. So think about what you want. Career-wise, lifestyle-wise. Would you want to wake up and feel inspired? Wake up at whatever time you like and enjoy what you see, enjoy the people you're with. Feel that you will create an impact today. Having a wonderful relationship, a wonderful networking, feeling connected and proud of your body, of your life. Now ask yourself, are you acting in ways that may be draining you, draining your energy and holding you back? Because the problem is, we're in a rush and we're completely tired. We're obsessed with running, achieving, and reaching. But those things that truly matter most, purpose, career success, impact, connections, and relationships, only come when you are ready. But we live in a world that doesn't let us stop. The constant pressure to produce and to achieve and to show off is strong. So you start having this burnout and you feel empty inside. You feel like nothing is worthwhile anymore and disconnected. You feel anxious and trapped in this never-ending loop, this never-ending race. And then burnout happens, which is when your body, your mind, your emotions, your energy, your vitality, your spirit beg you to stop, but still you don't. And you may have been doing this for months or years even. And then there's another layer. And then there's another layer of pressure, which is the self-help culture. We're told you deserve everything. You just need to manifest it. And we have this entitled culture that feels like just because I am me, I deserve everything. Our generation is a generation that believes we are already entitled to so many things because we're so used to immediacy and we're so used to things being convenient and fast. But when you don't get what you want, it becomes a burden. And you ask yourself, is it my fault? Am I not doing enough? But what if we're missing something? What if the rush, the pressure, and all this is blinding us to an essential truth? What if all society's expectations and the pressure we have through social media, where we see 16-year-old coaches teaching everyone how to live their life and become millionaires and live free and release themselves from the matrix and have the perfect couple, whilst they haven't lived, I don't know, 80% of their life, how about we think of that, of the nature of the truth that we're missing, perhaps, that extra component that we have not yet accepted, and because we're in so much of a rush, whilst we're privileged enough to not be in so much of a rush, because we are a privileged generation, more so than probably any other generation before us. What if we think that something truly, deeply wise is waiting for us to acknowledge it? And that truth is time. And what only time can teach us. But we want things to be fast. Our career success, our purpose, our relationships and love, our own evolution, our spiritual enlightenment. But some things take maturity, they take growth, and they take cycles. Where you are today is the result of what you've built so far, is the result of what you need. And it might seem like a hard truth, but everything around you, all the results, your career, your finances, your body, your relationships, is the best feedback that life, in its pure wisdom, has to give you and show you exactly what you're ready to handle, and also what you need to do in order to expand yourself, to be able to hold that which you want, that which your heart calls you towards. But we've lost this as a society. We don't value maturity or life's natural cycles. We're so afraid of life's natural cycles that we try to control it. And we don't value maturity to the point that we cast aside old age to the side and we celebrate youth. We glorify it. We glorify youth while ignoring the wisdom of the elderly, for example. Whilst they perhaps hold so many answers that you and I and the 16-year-old coach will never be able to hold, because there are things that may only be learned through time, through scars. Carl Jung, the very famous psychologist you probably know, has a term called individuation. And individuation is a process that happens when you have that midlife crisis. He says basically that life begins when you're 40, 42, 45, when you have that midlife crisis. And that midlife crisis is like a birth. Everything before that is a preparation in order to live life without the stresses, the rush that you have when you're younger, without all those passions that you have when you're younger. And then you can see life more plainly and more truly. I was recently speaking with a person that was telling me how when he hit 40 or 42, things really started shifting and his rush decreased, and he didn't want to prove so much to the external world things, and he was actually way more connected within. In this idea of individuation, to truly living fully, it doesn't even begin until you're 40. And everything before that is just like a preparation. And I haven't fully experienced that myself, but I have experienced how time has changed me. And I don't think the same things I think when I was 20. I'm 32 now. Actually, I see those things as childish. How about we start understanding that there is a natural process that happens with time that might be the key for those results we want? And think about this. Grace follows merit, and purpose follows leaps of faith. What I mean with this is grace. When life, in its spectacular manner and beauty, sends you what you need, right? And when it falls from the sky, follows merit. That means that you need to become the person ready to hold the things you want. Life is wise and will not give you that which you're not ready for, you know? Life is wise, and it will only give you those things that will expand you fully. And if you really, really fight it and you somehow achieve it, you might not be ready to hold it. And you might have experienced this in your own life, in relationships that you were not ready for, uh, be it romantic or work relationships you were not ready for, clients you were not ready for, progress and processes and successes you were not ready for, and you just weren't able to hold it. You need to become the person ready to hold the things you want, if you really, truly, deeply want to grow that way. And for that, you need to take action, and purpose follows leaps of faith. And what that means is taking bold but heart-aligned actions attracts what you truly, deeply want, attracts that deeper calling. But you do need to take action. Time knows what it's doing. You can't force life cycles, but you can learn how to align with them, and you can do the things you need to do, take action and the leaps of faith to prepare for those results. Will it take a while? May it take whatever time it needs, because we cannot be judges of the universe. We have to allow it and embrace the time required for those results. The same way you're able to look back now and see what you've built and the person you've created, and know that you would have never been able to hold this which you now have when you were 20, or I don't know, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 5 years ago, even a year ago perhaps. You've grown, and that is the wisdom of time. And let me give you some examples. You know, we all want this aligned sense of purpose and success, work-wise, for example, or many of us. Maybe you don't, but I do, and many of us do. And there's this story of Howard Schultz, who was the CEO of Starbucks and took Starbucks to where it's now, that I find really inspiring. So Schultz grew up in poverty. He didn't have the proper education, and he didn't find his purpose later in life until he was 30 and beyond. He did have this drive, and he did start working, and he eventually ended up working in Starbucks. Starbucks was very different at the time, and it grew from a small coffee a bit more. And Howard Schultz had the idea, the idea and the vision of Starbucks as this multinational company, having franchises all around the world. However, he was not the owner of Starbucks, and the owners of Starbucks did not want this idea. So what he did was he quit, and he started building his own cafe, which may seem in certain ways like he had to take a step back. But then he created his own coffee shop, learned from scratch many things about the business, really worked on it, and then eventually he bought Starbucks and built it to what Starbucks is now. But Starbucks wasn't built overnight. It took years of learning and years of patience. If he had tried at 20, he probably would have failed, and time prepared him to succeed. Now, this is one example of how time and expertise and putting in the work and taking leaps of faith may lead you to eventually having the results you want, and eventually grace blessing you with that which you want. In my own life, I remember when I was 20, I've always been surrounded by friends, family, people I love. However, I was very much into self-development and spirituality. I was into plant medicine, I was into Kundalini Yoga, and I was becoming a teacher in Kundalini Yoga. I was also an entrepreneur, and nobody around me was either into spirituality as I was, into self-development as I was, reading the books I was reading at the time, or into entrepreneurship as I was. Nor my family, nor my high school friends, nor my college friends. Nobody was there, not my peers, nobody. And I felt super lonely. And for a long time, I prayed to be feeling as I was part of a community. And it took me 10 years to start finding the right people. But eventually, by me putting in the work non-stop, by me taking leaps of faith non-stop, the results started showing, and I started traveling around the world, meeting people from all ethnicities and my own background as well, and starting to connect. And now I'm the person that people seek to be able to connect them with this frequency, with this energy. People now follow me. I've had several friends who've followed me around the world. I've told them, let's go to Tulum, let's go to Miami, let's go to Bali, let's go to Europe. And they've followed to different parts where I've been to keep on pushing the idea of community in this particular sense of self and spiritual development growth. Now, I had to become the person that was able to hold this by myself to attract the vibration of the people right for me. And now I can help. And it not only happens with peers and in self-development, like you can also work towards becoming the right person that attracts, for example, your partner. There's a story of Morgan Freeman, who found his love life, who's Myrna Colley Lee, after they've been working their own paths. You know, they were not in their 20s when they found love. But their connection was built on the maturity and stability that time had given them. The people they had become after a while. And then they were more aligned. Because love isn't about finding someone. It's about being ready for a deep, meaningful connection and then being the person that can actually hold that relationship. You know? And that only happens through time. Obviously, when you take the action and the leaps of faith during that time. And you have to trust. How long will it last? We don't know. We have to trust. We have to trust life. Because time is our ally. Where you are today reflects your journey. And what you seek will come when you're ready to hold it. Grace follows merit, and purpose follows leaps of faith. It's about taking those leaps of faith and becoming that person that's ready to have those results. Time is that valuable component. So we can strengthen grace by strengthening faith. And the way to show the universe you're ready is by taking the leaps of faith, holding yourself to your own standards with an open heart over and over again through time until you're the person that is really truly ready to hold that relationship which you actually want. Don't sell yourself short and hold yourself to those standards. So if this resonates with you, if these reflections, if these ideas, if this growth resonates with you, and you identify as a spearhead that is ready to lead humanity's evolution, remember to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much. I truly appreciate that you've gotten this far. And I'll see you in the next video.